Hi, hello, my lovely techies. Welcome or welcome back to K Talks Tech. I'm Kay, and I'm here to talk tech with you. Today, I want to talk to you about, I want to do a video on a little IT business advice. So, I'm going to play the role of your IT business advisor for the length of this video. And today, I want to talk to you about negative reviews. This information is really for small businesses, but anybody who can use it is welcome to use it. Um, I'm going to talk about how to avoid a negative review, what you should do if you get one, and how to remove them. So, but before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about the channel. This is a channel where we encourage Black women to pursue careers in tech by demystifying the tech industry. So, I talk about the jobs in tech, what those jobs are, what they do, what they pay, how to find them, how to prepare for them. I talk about news in tech, what's going on in the tech industry, and I talk about small business advice. So, this video on small business advice, I hope, will save you a lot of pain and aggravation because in tech, the way to fix something is to fix it before it happens. I know it sounds crazy, but that's really what it is. That is really the key. So we spend a lot of time in tech fixing things before they happen. Well, before the customer sees them happen, right? So now what I need you to do is to go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, tell a friend, help me get the message out, and let's talk tech. So I see some of you, I always end up adjusting the camera after I start. I'm sorry for that, y'all. I'm gonna get it right one day, but apparently it's not today. So um hopefully the information is useful enough that you won't mind that. So, what I see is a lot of small businesses. Well, not even small businesses. There's a lot of negative reviews on the internet, right? And if you're a small business and you're trying to make it, the negative interview can have a very large impact to your business. Um, and the fewer reviews you have, the more important that negative review is. So if you have 1,000 reviews and you got two negative reviews, nobody cares about that. But if you have 8 reviews and two negative reviews, that's 25%, right? So what if you only have 6 reviews? What if you only have 4 reviews? I've seen, and reviews are applicable to everyone now. I've seen people with no reviews other than negative reviews. And so I wouldn't choose that business or that doctor or that whatever. So negative reviews impact all sorts of companies. So let's talk about how you get a negative review. I think that probably people think there was a mistake, there was a misunderstanding, the person didn't like it, you got a negative review. You don't get a negative review for making a mistake because mistakes will happen. People know mistakes will happen and people are understanding. And yeah, there are some customers that are just heck on wheels and they just are not having a good day. They're not having a good life and they are fighting with everybody everywhere they go. And they're more than happy to take it out on you because that's a release of negative energy. But most people are not like that. So if you have a negative review, I have to ask you, what did you do to cause that negative review? Because it is what you did. It's not what the customer did, it's what you did. People give negative reviews because they're pissed off. They don't give negative reviews because something happened. They give negative reviews because they don't like the way you handled what happened. Okay? So let's talk about that. If you have a customer, I want you to change your mindset around customers, right? And their complaints. You have a business. You can't have a business where you're never going to have a complaint. That doesn't happen. That's not real. Okay. So you are going to have a complaint. And some of those people complaining are just not pleasant folk, right? What you do is kill them with kindness. If somebody raises their voice, you lower your voice, they will actually lower their voice to match yours. That's what happens. That's a sales tactic, right? That's a conflict resolution tactic. Um, People are upset because they think they're not being heard. So you have to hear them. But your attitude can't be like, I'm trying to help you now, so you need to calm down. No, you don't, you can't control my reaction. And when you talk to me like that, that's when you're going to get the negative review. Okay. So separate your feelings because this is not about your feelings. Um, I know the business is your baby and you don't want anybody disparaging it, right? But if you feel like you're being disparaged verbally in the moment, what happens when that disparagement makes its way to the internet and and is viewed many times over? I had a friend looking for an apartment and I was helping her look at reviews. She saw an apartment review where the person had moved out and they were arguing with the management over a scratch on the refrigerator. Really? Apparently, they made her pay for the scratch on the stainless steel refrigerator. Do you want to rent with those people? No. And most of the reviews were positive, but that was a negative one, and it was very, very petty. So if you made the person pay for it, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at how you responded to what they had to say. So the best way to deal with a negative review is to stop it before it happens. Go into 1000% customer service mode. Whether you believe the customer is always right or not, you need to handle the situation so it doesn't escalate, right? When it escalates, people can go multiple places over the internet and place a review, and there'll be places that you will never know about. There's Yelp, very, very popular for reviews. Um, they can make a complaint to the Better Business Bureau, and even if it's wrong, it still stays on your record for a year. They can go to Google reviews. Who doesn't see Google, right? So they can go to reviews. They can review on whatever the websites are that include your business. So let's say that apartment rental, right? You got rent.com, you got apartments.net, you got apartments.com, you got, I don't know who else, but that's three. So that's six places right there from one incident where you're getting negative marketing or negative advertising for your business. You don't want that. So what you do is humble yourself, stay cool, and just focus on the issue, right? And I'll give you an example. There's an event. I won't say what it is because but it's a very nice event. And they have this event twice a year in two different locations. Um, and I have been to the two of the events, one in each location. Now, the first location is the area where you'll see more diversity, right? So I went to the event. I had a fabulous time. The people were nice. I loved it. The second location is at a country club where you'll see less diversity. Now, I'm not talking about at those venues. I'm talking about the areas that the venues are in. And so it was fabulous too. It was even more fabulous than the first event. It really was. It was really, really, really nice. But there were a couple of people there that were black phobic. I just made up that word. I had a white friend that I went with, and we were making the rounds at the vendors, and a couple of vendors we got to just gave me lots of negative energy. Some of them act like, what do you want? Others ignored my presence and just talked to her when there's only two people standing there. And so I definitely recognize those as, I was going to say microaggressions, but I'm not sure they were all that micro. Okay. So I wasn't feeling that. And I said, okay, well, I'm not going to let you ruin my night. You're two out of how many? And so I'm going to finish making the rounds at these vendors. And the others were really nice and so forth. So allowing you to sample their wares freely, excuse me, no issues. But a couple of cancer cells, something like that can really put a damper on you wanting to return to the event. I made the best of it while I was there. I had a good time. And then I said, yeah, I guess this is not for me in this location. So, I'm not trying to make anybody accept me. I got money and I'm here. If you want it, you need to treat me well. If you don't, then, you ruin it for the whole class. So the next year when the event came around, I wasn't even thinking about the event. Well, the event came around in the first place. I wasn't able to go. When it came around to the second place where I had the negative experiences, I got a note from the organizer. So I sent him back a note and I said, well, I won't be attending. I had these negative experiences and not cool. He said, if you're available, I'd like to offer you 2 free tickets to attend this event. What? Wow. I was really touched because people don't care these days. Oh, so what? You're black and people didn't treat you well. That's the natural order of things. Really? Because you all came from black. You do know that, right? You do know that's a scientific fact, right? But anyway, I digress. So I'm like, okay, well, it's a little bit of a pricey event. It costs over $50. If you're going to give me a couple of free tickets, okay, I'll go and I'll check it out. That was a very smart thing because he took a customer who was going to give him lots of negative advertising and turned me into a customer that was giving him another chance. People don't give you anything of value these days, and I'm going to talk about that later as well. So I go to this event. I have a fantastic time. I have a better time than I've had at the other two combined. It is amazing. They have all these vendors. They got two bands, one outside, one inside. I am just having the time of my life. I couldn't believe what a good time I was having. It was amazing. It really was. And um, I met people there, chatted with people there. It was fabulous. It really was. So now that's the story that I'm telling. So now when I post on social media about it, I'll say, you know what, I had a problem, but they straightened it out. They gave me some free tickets and I went and it was fantastic. And now I'm a customer for life. I will go to that event every year now, every year, probably in both locations because I had such a good time. It was so amazing, right? And it was upscale. That's my kind of thing. So yeah, I really, really loved it. So that's the way you rock it. If there's a review, see, that's the other reason that people do reviews. They have an extremely pleasant customer experience. And that is the key. It's all about the customer experience. If the customer has a really negative experience, you might get multiple negative reviews in multiple places, places that you don't even know about or even ever heard of, and they're telling their friends. And I haven't even mentioned going out to social media such as Threads or X, the application formerly known as Twitter, if people are still using that, or Instagram or Facebook. People will call you out. And those big platforms, people will see those reviews. So if there's a review, you want it to be positive. And the way you get a positive review is to give a positive experience. So now, whenever I talk about that event, I'm going to talk about how amazing it was and how that guy turned me into a loyal customer for life. That's the way you rock it. That's what you want to do. But let's say, despite your best efforts, you still get a negative review. What can you do? What I see a lot of companies doing is responding to the review on social media. Um, I do think you should respond, but maybe it shouldn't be you who responds. Maybe you should get somebody else to do that for you because a lot of people who respond are in the fight. Oh, that wasn't it. That's not what happened. You're telling lies. Now you've made it worse. Now, not only is it whatever happened, but it's your attitude and the way that you're acting on social media that is turning people off from your business. You do not want that. If you're going to respond, you cannot be defensive. Okay. And you have to offer something of value. Now, what I see people doing is trying to remove the person from the social media. Oh, we're really sorry you had that experience. Please give us a call and let us try to resolve it. Well, if you're going to do that, you better offer them something. Okay. Because if you tell the person that and they call you and you still don't resolve it and you don't offer them anything, then they're going to go back to social media and say, I called them to resolve this. They didn't offer me anything. Right. That's what I want to see. I want to see, how did you resolve that issue? What sort of experience am I going to have? What sort of experience am I going to have as your customer? I really don't like saying, "Oh, call me," because I think that that doesn't happen. What I would like to see is, let's say you stay at a hotel and you have a problem. I'd like to see, let us offer you a free night. They used to do that. They don't do that anymore. So if you're just going to take my money, treat me like dog poop, and not offer me anything, then I'm not coming back. And I'm going to tell that negative story. Don't let that happen. People's businesses have been ruined. Then lawsuits can come after that, right? So you can sue the person dragging you, but you're a small business. You have money for lawsuits. I it just The name of the game is avoidance. That's what it is, right? Now, another thing you can do is, there are companies that will you can hire that will try and get that negative review removed, but it's really, really, really difficult. Sometimes they can contact the people that own the service where the negative review is and ask them to remove it. Um, that's not very popular with the services that have them there. They're like, the review is a review. If you know who it is, you can hire somebody to reach out to them directly. I would strongly suggest you do not do that yourself. um, Tempers flare, you can make it worse. So you can hire a company, they'll reach out to the person. And I'm not talking about on social media. I mean, really call them up on the phone or send them an email, send them a letter and say, we would really like to resolve this. What can we do to make this situation better? And after we make it, if we're able to make it better, we would like you to remove that negative review. You can do that, but there's no guarantee. It's very, very difficult. And again, you need to offer the people something. If you make someone angry enough to put up negative review, and then you only know about that one, right? It could be in other places too. If you make somebody angry enough to put up negative reviews, they're not going to take it down just because you ask them nicely, right? So you better be prepared to offer them something. Um, and if you're not going to do that, then you're wasting your time. Excuse me. If you're not going to do that, you're wasting your time. Uh, and that's about it. There's really not too much you can do, except don't let it happen to begin with, right? That's the name of the game. And if it does happen, you can try and resolve it, but you got to keep your ego in check, because you could make it worse. Um, people love to troll these days, so I don't know what to tell you about that. Um, I'm just trying to think, what else could you do? That's about it. You have to always keep customer experience at the forefront of your mind, and don't think about it from your perspective. Think about it from their perspective. Have empathy and be very polite and professional with your customers. I see some people throwing customers away. Okay, keep doing that. Let's see how long you stay around. You can afford to throw customers away. Wow. Clearly, that is not the way to successfully build a business. This is not a church you can excommunicate people from. If you want to build business, you don't throw business away, right? Um, just don't be defensive, be polite. Customer experience is key. Part of customer experience is key. Part of customer experience is customer service. Treat the people like you would want to be treated, and I think you'll be fine. But if you do get that negative review, try to make it right and have a humble attitude about it. And if you have someone else that can be the person on the hands-on person to contact the person who made that negative review, let someone else do it. So that's what you do with a negative review. That's how you prevent them. That's how you fix them if you have them. And that's it. If you have any questions about it, um, you can make comments on the video, or you can go to my website. The link is in the description box, and contact me that way. If you need some IT business advice, I'm happy to help you with that. And definitely try to avoid those negative reviews. So that's it. I hope you will. Oh, Likes, 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 likes. I need likes, likes, subscribers, and notification. Tell a friend. And, when you visit my website, I do offer some IT business advice information that is paid content that I think you may find very helpful, as well as some services there. So check that out, and I'll see you next time where we will continue to talk tech.